Hi guys, Heather here. Hope everybody had an amazing Halloween. I didn't get to do nearly as many fun Halloween things as I wanted to do. Since I've gotten this second job doing the tours in Asbury Park for the Paranormal Museum and the Downtown Haunted Places tour, I guess. Takes up a lot of my weekend time. Not that I'm complaining. I absolutely love doing the museum tours. They're so much fun. And if you want to stay till the end of the video, I have a paranormal happening maybe that happened to us this past weekend. It's been awesome because I've had like the last week and a half off. Today was my first day back to work, but whatever. It's just so hard to come back after taking time off like that. Yeah, it's rough, but I hope everybody else got to have fun. You know, I was so immersed in this second job that I actually had another kind of like ghost hunt thing planned at the Barron Arts Center that's literally right up the street from my house. Completely forgot about it. But it wouldn't have really mattered anyways though, because I had to work, originally had to work, and then it ended up raining, so didn't end up having to work. But anyways, this is gonna be kind of a short video because I don't have a whole lot to show. When it gets to be around this time of year, what ends up happening is I end up spending a lot of money that I would have been spending on cross stitch. I end up spending a lot of money on clothes. There's just something about fall clothes. I love them so much more than summer clothes. Even though, you know, I dropped weight and went down like a pant size and a shirt size and all that. You know, it was nice, but to be able to continue to wear clothes that expose more of your body, like for me, I become more conscious of, you know, making sure I get to the gym, really watching what I eat. Spring and summer is not my dangerous time when it comes to food. It's this time of year. It's hibernation time. And I've completely fallen off the program I was following, and I'm struggling so hard to get back to it. But it's just one of those things, like you have to do it. And my whole mission behind that was do this until it becomes a habit, until you feel lost when you don't do it. And I feel like right before I fell off, I was this close, like literally making myself get up every single day, 4 a.m., get to the gym, and you know, make sure that my food was on point, meal prepping everything, and I just want to throw it out there, and I may get some flack for this, but before you commit to doing something extreme like a low-carb diet or keto or something like that, please just heed these words. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you that the program that I've been doing, or the whatever you want to call it, it's not low carb really, and it's not keto. Your body needs carbs. It needs them. It doesn't need French fries. It needs carbs. It needs carbs from vegetables. It needs carbs from fruit. It needs your whole grains. You can go gluten-free if you want to, if that makes you feel better about the carbs that you're eating. But it's not a necessity. You just have to pay attention to where you're getting nutrition in regards to carbs, where you're getting it from. Because the long and short of it is low carb and keto is not sustainable. Try it. If you don't believe me, try it. You may go strong your first week, and then it'll start to get repetitive and annoying. You will find that your brain doesn't function the same way as it did. You'll start forgetting simple things that were never a problem remembering before, because your body needs those carbs to operate correctly. Especially if you're throwing any kind of workout routine in there, your body needs those carbs. It needs them. It needs them. So on paper, just like a lot of other things, on paper, low carb and keto looks great, sounds great, but it's not sustainable. It's not. So I'm not telling you what to do. Again, I'm just telling you from experience. It's not the way I would go. How's that? But we're not here to talk about that kind of stuff. We are here to talk about cross stitch, and I will finish my paranormal story at the end. It's a pretty good one. It's, it's not life altering if you miss it, but if you want to hear about a little event that's actually documented as well, if you go on to Paranormal Books and Curiosities page on Facebook, it was just posted about sometime this week, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there. One of the people that took my tour went on and was talking about it on the page, so but yeah, stick around if you want to hear that story. Until then, though, we have some cross stitch to get to, and like I said, I really don't have a whole lot, guys. It's kind of depressing the amount that I do have. I got some freebies from Needlecraft Corner, whichever shop it is that's doing the, why can't I think, that's doing the Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month. There we go. That's who I get those from every month. But so first pattern up is from Crown and Thistle. This is called Milestone Way. I will say this about this pattern. So if you look up towards the top, it looks, that thing, whatever that is up there, whether it be a garden or whatever it is, it looks like it's upside down, and I don't like it. Everything else is right side up, and for whatever reason, every time I look at that, it just looks like it's upside down. Also, I'm currently not working on anything, believe it or not, because what I was working on last, and if you're interested in seeing that, it was Acorn Road by Crown and Thistle. I believe it was a pattern that I showed in my last video. But if you're interested in seeing how far I got on that, go to my Instagram. It's the same. I'm getting sick. Sorry, guys. It is the same name as this one, Springfield Stitcher, all one word, on Instagram. So you can go there and look at that. That wiped me out. It may not look like much, but let me just show you a little snippet of what I was dealing with that pattern. So can you see this? Because I have to hold it back so far so that, copyright and all that. These are handwritten. Yeah, these like to play tricks on your eyeballs. For instance, the very first color that I put onto fabric in the Acorn Road pattern was wrong. Because the way this person writes their S's looks like a 3, especially because they write them so big. Let me see if I can show you an example. Let's see if they use the same ones. Oh, they do. See that? Yeah, so when you have that S close to the top of a cross stitch box on the pattern, if it touches any part of the top of that box, it looks like a 3. And I don't like it. I do not recommend handwritten patterns, but I like their designs. So it's like a rock and a hard place kind of thing. Do I put up with the fact that I can't stand handwritten patterns and just push through, or do I throw in the towel? And I put in entirely too much work on that pattern to throw in the towel now. But mark it on the record that Heather does not like handwritten patterns. Okay? In case there's ever a trivia game come up about me, that's going to be one of the answers, because I don't like it. Moving on. So, this is a Scarlet Letter pattern, and it's actually out of a magazine, but I couldn't find this pattern anywhere else, so it was like $2. I was like, whatever, because I like the saying on it. So this is what the pattern itself looks like. Sorry for the glare, but it's in like a taped up protector, plastic protector. And it says, Chloe Jenkins was born in Scituate, March the 6th, 1802. This done in the 13th year of my age and in the year of our Lord, 1814. When death transfers me to the dust, may I be numbered with the gust, my soul ascend to worlds of bliss, where dwells immortal happiness. See here I leave my name behind, forgetful mortals to remind that once I lived. But can I hope the slender web entwined with party-colored thread, when bronze or deep-cut marble bust, with time is crumbling back to dust, will give me life, may but to live, I must to fame a trumpet give, with virtue something. I can't read the last word, but yeah. So I liked that. I liked the saying on that. I'm sure I could probably read it better if I actually got it out of the plastic sleeve, because I could open it to the actual pattern, but oh well. This is from the Sampler Girl. This is the first Sampler Girl pattern I've ever owned. I worked on one in that round robin I was part of years ago. I think the first year I started doing videos I was in that. Needless to say, I haven't done one since. They're just not for me. I'm not saying anything bad about them. It's just, you're putting your project in the hands of people that you don't know. I will say that a project came around to me that was not stitched in the way that I stitch. So like I do one slash here and then I come back and do the other one over. Actually, I ran into a couple of those. And I know that's a simple fix, you just turn the fabric. But I came across one that I don't know what happened, but you know how on like linen or even weave, you're supposed to come up at the bottom left of a top thread and then, you know, go down, do the same thing on the other arch. I don't know what this person did, but they were going through the in-between threads. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe they flipped the fabric the wrong way and were stitching it that way. I don't know, but I feel bad for that person whose project that was. Because what do? I don't have time. You know, I only have that project for a month. I don't have time, and I think it would be kind of It would be good, but it would be bad to go through and pick out somebody else's work and then restitch it on top of the bit that I was supposed to stitch. I don't know. Personally, if somebody got my project and my project was like that, I wouldn't be upset if somebody unpicked the previous work that was wrong and restitched it. Because I would never know, mainly. Unless somebody came out and told me, I would never know. But, again, I only had the project for a month, and I don't know. I was too new at that point to be like, hey, should I do this? So I had no other choice but to leave it. And I stitched my part and sent it along. So yeah, needless to say, I've not joined another round robin since. I don't know, they're just not for me. Again, nothing bad about them, just don't like it. But anyway, this is, God, I always do this. I always cross my legs and I always have to uncross them. This is Lady Washington's sampler from the Sampler Girl. And it says, steady as a clock, busy as a bee, cheerful as a cricket. And Washington. Was that one of her sayings? I don't know. I've never heard that before, but I believe, did I take everything out of here? Yeah, I think I did. From the previous, I have a bad habit of like putting everything in this bag that I want to show on my next video, but I'm running out of room to put things, so I'm having to kind of leave it in that bag until I can find space to put it. But it looks like I cleared everything out. So if you see any duplicates, I apologize. There shouldn't be any though. So this is the Scarlet Letter, and this is a morning sampler. And it has the name of someone. It says, departed this life, June 21st, 1982, age 74 years. She walked with God and he was her support. I liked it, A, because it's a morning sampler, and B, June 21st was my younger brother's birthday. And he's the one that passed away. So, I don't know, kind of seemed like I was meant to have it. So, and it was pretty cheap on eBay. Can't complain. So, all right, next I have Mildred Chewing, and this is from R&R Reproductions. This counted thread project is adapted from the original Southern sampler held in the collection of the Valentine Museum in Richmond, Virginia. So that's what it looks like. It's kind of a dark picture, so it's not real legible. As far as what it says, so I liked, the main part I liked was down here on the bottom. She has her family's names written. So it's kind of like a family tree, which I think is pretty cool. The little saying up top is kind of religious. It says, religion should our thoughts engage amidst our youthful bloom. 'Twill fit us for declining age and for the awful tomb. More needful this than glittering wealth, or aught the world bestows. Not reputation, food, or health can give us such repose. So not super religious, but it's got a little snippet back here about her. It says, Mildred was in her 9th year when she commenced her ambitious piece at Miss Lucy Mary Quisenberry's plantation school, Mount Airy. Mildred chose to recreate her own home, Rosevale, on her sampler. She even recreated the rose bushes for which the plantation most likely received its name. Along with the main house, Mildred also added the smokehouse and, minus a crescent moon, the necessary. I don't know what that is. Mildred named many people on her sampler, including 2 of her fellow students, her parents, and 14 siblings. Nope. We think Nici, N-I-C-Y. We think Nici was a black child who was raised with Mildred. Elizabeth Valentine probably was betrothed to one of Mildred's older brothers. The piece is also full of initials, some placed purposefully to make us chuckle. She boxed her initials in to make them easy to find. The Quisenberry family has a place in history as the family who helped John Wilkes Booth escape from Washington after Lincoln's assassination. What? Shut up. Why would you do that? Well, I did not know that. Speaking of President Lincoln, though, if you want to hear about his haunted past, you should come see me. Paranormal Books and Curiosities at the Paranormal Museum. That was not on purpose, by the way, just so I could put a plug in about myself. It was not. I really had not read that biography until now. Oh well. So this pattern you've seen before. I've shown it before. It's the Sampler Company. It is, of course, I've got the fabric covering the actual name of the project because, well, that's just how I do things. Anyway, the whole purpose of showing you this again, wait, can I read it? Something story. Anyways, it doesn't matter. This is the pattern. I'm showing you this because I found the fabric for it. I think this is the August Prim. No, it's the October Prim. Yeah. It's the October Prim from Ship's Manor. And that's it, except for, so upstairs in the room that I'm in right now, this is our living room. We are currently having our fireplace worked on. That's a whole story I could get into with you, but I will not because it's boring and it makes me mad. Mainly because it has to do with the guy that flipped our house and how big of a scumbag he is. So I just won't get into it. Just know, 52 Holly Street, never do business with them. So, anyway, that area is gonna be kind of like my husband's like man cave, I guess if you want to call it that. It's essentially a family room, but this up here is going to be my area. These ugly black couches that you see in pretty much every single one of my videos will be gone. I have not liked them since I set eyes on them the first time ever. And it makes me kind of bitter because the couches that I had before I moved out here, I loved them. And I gave them away because Chris already had his own furniture. So I was like, okay. Blinded by love, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway. My furniture went to good homes, so I guess I can be happy about that. But anyway, I don't like these couches. So what I want to do up here is I want to put 2 1.5 with ottomans. That's what I want to do. And downstairs will be kind of like the gathering area. So there's going to be like a big sectional downstairs and all of that. Well, right in front of me is where we have our TV mounted on the wall, and of course there's the TV stand under it. But our walls, as you can see in this video right here, and every single video that I do, they're blank. They're also very white. I don't like white walls. I've never liked white walls. They're just too bare and I don't know. I don't like looking at them. They're very stark. And they burn your retinas when you look at them sometimes. But so I'd like to do like a nice neutral, like a gray tone or something like that. By the time all is said and done in my house, it's going to be very gray because it's my favorite neutral. But the wall that I'm staring at right now, I want to put floor-to-ceiling bookcases, and I want to start filling the bookcases. All of my books currently, well, the majority of them anyway, are still in boxes downstairs. I've not put them out anywhere. And if we were to do floor-to-ceiling bookcases in here, I would definitely have some work to do in filling them. Well, I'm the type of person that I prefer a book that you can open and flip through the pages, a physical book, any day over an ebook. I still read them. They are much cheaper than your standard book. They're also a lot easier to travel with because you can obviously house more than one book on your iPad or your phone or whatever. But if I'm going to sit and read at my house, I would like to have a book that I can hold. Also, I've watched someone make a book before, like bind a book, and the process is mesmerizing. Plus, I like old books. There's nothing like opening a book from, for example, early 1900s and flipping through it and holding it very close to your face so you can snarf down that aroma that comes out of them. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. I actually had a candle called Bookends. I got it from Hobby Lobby that smelled like a leather-bound book. It was amazing. I burned it in like a week. It was gone. But anyways, so I found this on eBay. This is called The Very Little Person. It's written by Mary Heaton Vorse. It says, "With love to my sister Pauline from Lucy, December 15th, 1919. So I have someone's physical handwriting of a person clearly I'll never meet because they're probably long gone by now. You know, back when people still knew how to write in cursive. Oh God, don't even get me started on that kind of stuff because we'll be here for hours and I will lose subscribers by the time it's all said and done. Anyway, so this was written in 1911. And the reason I got it is because there is some stuff in here that just makes you giggle. For instance, the illustrations. Let's go there, shall we? And it actually has them listed out, what pages the illustrations are on. For instance, if this child's going to be an idiot, tell me at once, is pictured on page 4. Let's go there now. So I'm sure that, you know, we can put 2 and 2 together at this point and go with the fact that idiot means the bare bones definition of what that word means in this case. Picked Louise up and displayed her is on page 22. Let's check that one out. And it's not as graphic as you might be picturing in your head right now. This is a child after all. Picked Louise up and displayed her. The Hunger Song is pictured on page 64. The parents look very concerned there. If they don't cry, they spank them. Normally that's the other way around. Not allowed to feed your baby before it's time. I'm not going to have my child explode. I wish I was making some of these things up, but I'm not. Let me take her. And last but not least, what that child wants is to try her legs. Tailpiece, wherever that is. Where is it? The first bottle. Maybe tail piece is all the way at the end, maybe. That would make sense, right? Let's see. Come on now. Tailpiece. Who knows what page that is? Because it's not at the very back. So the grown-up baby. What is happening here? Why can't I find this? Maybe it's gone. Maybe they tore it out. Yeah, because I'm not finding it. Yeah, because here we are back at Let Me Take Her. So, I don't know. What every child wants is to try her legs. Oh, maybe it's this? This little thing right here. So yeah, I found that a little more interesting than I probably should have. But anyway, that's all for haul. That's all I have to show you. I just find it funny that when most people talk about book recommendations in their videos, that it's like something normal, you know, like murder mystery or true crime, like normal, because that's normal to me. But no, I have weird books written about children. But if you've stuck around till this point and you would like to hear my interesting little tidbit that happened at work at my second job, I would be happy to tell you about it. So I'll tell you the first little one, and then I'll tell you the one that I really want to tell you about. So the first little one, in the museum, so I haven't seen anything in the downtown tours yet, nothing, which I have a feeling I'm not going to, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, so in the museum, there's a couch, and it's called the singing couch because the person that made it claimed that when they would lie on it, they could hear the sounds of a woman singing. Well, not this past weekend, but the one before that, I had 2 different people on different tours tell me that when they were in the area of the couch, that they could hear a woman singing. So this was before I told them about the story of the couch, and we also have a recording of the singing. So, and we offer to let people listen to that. So I told them, hey, at the end of the tour, why don't you compare what you heard to what we have on tape? Tell me if it sounds similar. Both of the people said that, yeah, it did kind of sound like what they heard. I've never heard these things when I've been up there. I get this. So the Paranormal Museum is in a building that has 3 floors, and it's on the 2nd floor. That's where my interview for this job was. It was actually in the museum. So there's a main parlor, and that's where it was. So as soon as you hit the top of those stairs to the 2nd floor, the energy completely changes. If you're sensitive to that stuff at all, I've had many people say that they have the same reactions, physical reactions to the energy that I have. I get very lightheaded in certain areas, and I also have, like, the only way that I know how to describe it is like heart palpitations, or like your heart is fluttering. That's what it feels like. But the main one I want to tell you about just happened this past weekend. And so the parlor is like one long room, and I kind of take you around the outside and tell you about the artifacts. And we were standing, so if you were looking at the end of the room, like you just come up the stairs and you're looking directly into the parlor. We were over on the right-hand corner. And they're all kind of horseshoe shaped around me. And I'm facing, so I would be facing the stairs at this point. But they all have their backs to the stairs. And I'm telling them about the artifacts that are beside me. And we hear footsteps coming up the stairs. So we all, we're waiting for the flesh and blood person to get to the top of the stairs. And there's nobody. The entire tour heard this. We all turned to see, was somebody late? But I knew that that was a sold out tour and that everybody was accounted for. So I thought maybe it's Una, which is Kathy, the owner's sister. She works downstairs for cash at the register. Or it could be Joe. He's another guy that hangs around and helps out. So I'm waiting for one of those two people to come to the top, or maybe even Kathy herself. Maybe she stopped in to do some work. Whatever, someone that I know, or a tour goer, waiting for him to get to the top of the stairs. Nobody. So, I stopped mid-sentence. We heard them. They were footsteps of a grown person walking up those stairs. Nobody. So I continue with my tour. And it's not 2 minutes later, we hear the footsteps again. This time, they're above us. On the 3rd floor is a living area. It's also where Kathy's office is. Kathy doesn't come in on Sundays. And when there's nobody up there, that stairway is blocked off. Like one of the gates that comes across and it locks. I don't have a key to get up there. I know Una's downstairs. Una has to walk by me to get to those stairs to go up to the 3rd floor. We already discussed that those footsteps that we heard a minute ago weren't attached to anybody. Not a real person, anyway. So again, I stop and we're all listening. These are definite footsteps walking above our heads in an area that no one is in. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? There are neighbors on both sides, but we were standing on the opposite side of the room that shares the wall, or of the side that shares the wall with the noisy neighbor. And when you hear something coming from one end of a room or one side of a room, you know that it's coming from that side or that end. I hear him all the time. There was a huge bang on that side, the opposite side of where the noisy neighbor is one day. The very first day I gave a tour, actually. And it was right as I was shutting the lights off to go downstairs at the end of the day, which I refuse to do by myself anymore, just because those vibes, man, they're something else. Anyways, so I've heard that big bang before, and I know that that's him over there making noise. Real person. At least I hope so. He doesn't work on Sundays, but he keeps odd hours, and I don't know. It's an artist that's over there. I don't know what he does on his 2nd and 3rd floors. I mean, maybe he lives there. I don't know. Maybe he has tenants that live there. But yeah. No. If she barks, I apologize. She hears people outside. Why I heard little kids screaming earlier. It's a school day. Anyway, I don't know what it was. The people on the other side of us, it's a bookstore, and I believe it was closed by this time anyways. And anyways, those footsteps, They were directly in front of us and they were directly above us. They were not on either side of the room. Yeah, everybody heard it. So, and it's one of those things, like, how do you convince those people that you're not pulling their chain? You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't have made it any more clear. Like, there's nobody up there. So it's, in a way, I'm kind of glad that they all heard and witnessed the first set of footsteps, that there was nobody attached to that sound. I'm glad that happened before the footsteps above us. But it's crazy. I feel like I see things out of the corner of my eye a lot there. But November 9th, they're holding a seance, and I haven't been able to sit in on one of these yet. And I contacted my boss and I asked, you know, do you care if I sit in on this? Because she invites us to everything. You know, they investigate up there because the building that we're in apparently has a haunting. But I can't give you all the secrets of the trade away. If you want to know more about them, come see me. I work on Sundays in the museum. But yes, our building has its own resident haunting. That haunting is actually the whole reason that my boss bought that building. That haunting kept her in Asbury Park. She was going to leave Asbury Park. She was in a previous location, 2 doors down from the location she's in now. And she was going to leave because she was just tired of Asbury Park. Asbury Park is a different breed. And that's the nicest way I can say it. Think of that as you will. But yeah, so I'll be sure to keep you updated on what happens in that seance. My boss is the acting medium for these seances, so we shall see. I will be sure to keep you updated. But until then, happy stitching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.